Hello. Give everybody a minute to pop on here and get their questions answered. For the mosaics, I did update the files when we started this part of the cow, and we will have another update after that, so that will include the right-handed and left-handed. I've had a few people message me, and those that have messaged me that are having problems are using the old file. So please take the time to go in and download the new one. And do not just read from the chart. The chart is for you to follow along with, but the written directions come with it. There are all of the color changes will be done on your white rows. So the rows that are not black will have the color changes. Hey Lisa. So if you're doing a color change and it's not falling on a light colored row, then you have either skipped a row or you've done something wrong or you have the old chart. So please take the time to watch these videos and go back in and make sure that you have the right chart and the right written. Like I said, I will be updating, for the final file that will have the right-handed and left-handed charts and have the right-handed and left-handed instructions. Your color changes will be done on the forward pass in your light colored rows, so please pay attention to that. The black will be worked over top of that. There will be a video. Where are the videos? For the ones in here, Lisa, or for the honeycomb, the houndstooth border? The first live is in the old event. The way that Facebook set up the new events, you can't make them last 2 weeks like you used to be able to. So that was my complaint in the first video, is that it sent out a notification that, this was starting and it wasn't going to be able to last the 2 weeks. It just lined it up as a one-day thing. The honeycomb border, the videos for that are in the main group. The houndstooth, the changing color, every video or every stitch or every other row is in there for the pattern portion of the lips. The color changing we talked about last night during the live. All you're going to be doing is doing the simple TSS across until you get to, when you get to the first row of the pattern that's above your, when you get to the first row that's above the black for your honeycomb border or your houndstooth border, when you start your color changes, they're going to happen there, because if you look on the chart, the right hand side has blue, the left hand side has red. So I think it's like stitch number 65 for those that are right-handed, start the red on this side. So you're just going to do a standard Tunisian simple stitch color change. The bobbin, adding a bobbin is actually in the regular group, and all you're going to do is literally crochet across with blue until you need the red, and then you're going to pick up the red and just add it, because you don't want anything slanted, so you want to pick up that stitch right, and then you can work over and under that tail to secure it, or you can weave it in. Some people like to work over and under it because it gives tension as they're working. Some people like to weave it in the end because it will tighten that first stitch up for the lips. So for the color changes, it's going to be done just like a Graphghan, that you're adding the bobbin. So the adding the bobbin video is actually in the group. Like I said, you're just going to crochet across with that color. Your return pass, when you do your return pass and there's 2 loops left on the hook, is, hey Sherry, when there's 2 loops left on the hook, that's when you're going to yarn over and pull through your new color. So that's what changes your color for the first stitch of the row. So you'll see that you have red and black on here. Of course, this is upside down, but that's what gives you the color change, is you're going to work your foundation chain and foundation row, and when you cast off that final stitch, you're going to cast off in black, and that's going to start your black row. So that's what you'll be doing for this whole bottom. When you get to the top up here, we did talk last night in the video, how do you do the return pass on a color changes row? You're going to yarn over and pull through one, then you're going to yarn over and pull through two, and you'll continue to yarn over and pull through two, and then at some point you'll have two different colored loops on your hook. You'll have a blue and a red in my case, and when your loop on the right is the red, when you have two different colored loops, then you use the color to the right, or I gotta turn it around because I'm looking at the thing. Yeah, when you have two different colors on your hook, you're going to use the color to the right to yarn over and pull through with that color, and that changes your color for your first row. There will be the extended front post Tunisian simple stitch video, how to do that stitch. I will be doing that. So mainly if you know how to do the Tunisian simple stitch, and the color changes for that, and you know how to do the honeycomb, then the only other thing that, like I said, you'll need is to change color on your forward pass, is when you're doing your return pass, when you have the last loop on your hook and you have the two loops left, you want to yarn over and pull through, and that starts the black for the new row, and then you'll cast on and off in black. And when you get to those final two loops with the black, you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through your red again, and you're going to be working the red and black up the side. So the back will actually look like that. And then your front will have the honeycomb houndstooth pattern because we're doing the color changes. So that should get you started. The extended front post Tunisian simple stitch, we talked about that a little bit last night. If you know how to do a front post double crochet, in essence that's what we're doing. We're doing a front post stitch. So what you're going to do is you're going to, except in Tunisian, you're going to do it like a simple stitch. So in a simple stitch, when you go down, you're going to go into the stitch to pull up the loop. So for the foundation or the front post, you're going to go down below and you're going to go between these from the black row below. And it looks like I got blue, but I do not. Okay, so you're going to do that front post, and you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop, or yeah, once you're through the stitch, then you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop, and then basically you're chaining two. So you're going to yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through one, and then you're going to have that loop on your hook. That is your extended front post Tunisian simple stitch. I will have a video coming for that probably tomorrow morning, because I actually have appointments this afternoon and I probably will not be home till late this evening. So like I said, all of your color changes will be done on the forward pass to add the bobbins and everything else to set everything up. There is no color changes during the black rows. It is only during your light colored rows. So you're going to either be doing red, white, or blue in that, or the brown, light taupe, and white, or the sun gold, jelly bean, and white. And what's the other color we have? The purple one is a mixed berry, white, and I can't remember the other name off the top of my head right now. So, does anybody have any questions so far for any of that? How is everybody doing? Does everybody have their yarn? Has anybody started yet? How far are you into it? Like I said, download the patterns that we have in here now that are in this one, and work from those. I will be updating these for the final because, like I said, I did include the left-handed graph when I did the pattern for the lips, and I think I did it for the other two as well. So I have to go in and change those out. So I will be including the right-handed and left-handed written. I will be including the right-handed and left-handed graph. I will be doing a video for the honeycomb houndstooth border. I will be doing a small one. It's just going to be a few little, like a 10 stitch swatch so that you guys understand that, and that'll include the color changes. And like I said, I probably will film that Friday as well. So I have the honeycomb houndstooth border, and what makes it the houndstooth border, even though it's the honeycomb stitch, is that you're changing colors every other row, or every row. The extended front post Tunisian simple stitch, I will have a video for that, and I will have a video for a few more things. And I specifically said in the video last night, and I know I'm going to have somebody pop on here and be like, I didn't know, but I don't want to overwhelm everybody with everything. This is a teaching group. So the method that we're going to be using for our color changes is going to be the simplest, easiest color change that you guys can get, because I want you guys to focus on changing colors for the lips. When you do that, since we're working every other row in a different color, so now you're red, you've worked a row of black, now you've worked a row of red, now you've worked a row of black, now you're going to work another row of red. So when you pull that red bobbin up, you're going to have a strand on the back. That's why I did this small. I wanted you guys to be able to learn the color change and the bobbins, because that's overwhelming enough. And then later on, we will be focusing on, when we do the next cowl, and everybody's pretty much got this figured out, then we're going to move into the color change method that we can use so that you do not get the strand on the back. But here is the strand, and see how it comes up the back. We are not going to be worrying about that right now, because all I want to do is teach you the foundation and the basics for how to get these color changes, what the mosaic stitches are, how to follow the charts, and how to incorporate the houndstooth border. So if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to ask in here, or even over in the other group, in the main group, and I will answer you as soon as I'm available. But I wanted to, and even last night I said I wanted to get everybody started so that they could follow along with this. If they've not done mosaic before, this will help them understand what we're doing without throwing them in the deep end with all of these different stitches that we can do to change this and to line this up and make this back look better. I want to start easy for you guys, because, you know, it's hard enough when there's mosaic patterns. A lot of designers don't have the right-handed. They, you know, if they have the right-handed, they don't have the left-handed, so left-handers are left out. I want to incorporate everybody and include everybody, so this will have the right-handed and left-handed. Sherry says, I never have any questions until I start working on the project. And I'm here for all of those questions whenever you're ready. So, like I said, I will be having some videos. They will be coming up for this. It's going to show you, but I'm pretty sure with everybody that I see that's included in this live, most of you have done the honeycomb stitch, so you should be able to read what a purl stitch is and what a Tunisian simple stitch is, and to be able to work the honeycomb even though it's in two different colors. I did suggest to mark your first row that you did your purl stitch in. For me, I started, this is the foundation chain and foundation row, so there's no honeycomb stitches there. And then when I started my black, I started my second stitch with my purl stitch. And when you do that, every even stitch will be a purl stitch. So when you work across and you have 5 stitches left, you're on stitch 95, which is an odd stitch. So that will be a Tunisian simple stitch. So your row that's in the contrasting color, other than the black, that row right there will be done in a Tunisian simple stitch. So you might want to mark the black on this side so that you know that in your black you're going to start your honeycomb with the purl stitch on this side. And you might want to work your black here, mark your black here, that this is the honeycomb here, the purl stitch. Or excuse me, the red on this side, because like I said, your even stitches will all be a purl stitch, because you did the second stitch as a purl if you started with your black. So when you get across here, starting with stitch number 95, that will be a simple stitch. So your red row will start your purl stitch for that, for your honeycomb to follow up. If you can't recognize your stitches and you need help remembering those, then that's a good way to mark with the stitch marker, and to remember that, you know, on this side it's going to be the black rows, and on the other side it's going to be the colored rows that are going to start with a purl. So like I said, I'm going to do a short video. I probably will have it up Friday sometime. That's just going to be a couple rows of just the honeycomb stitch and talking about changing color. Like I said, it's only going to be maybe 10 stitches wide and 3 or 4 rows tall, just to talk about how to change the color. The Tunisian simple stitch and the Tunisian purl stitch, we'll go over, we'll go over that in the video. It's just going to be a short tutorial to explain the houndstooth and the honeycomb. And then there will be a video for the extended front post Tunisian simple stitch, which that is, like I said, you're just going down like you're going to do the Tunisian simple stitch, but you're going into that black and you're going to do a front post like you would in regular crochet. You're going to go behind those two, the front and the back vertical bars. You're going to yarn over, you're going to pull up that loop, and then basically you're chaining 2. So you're going to yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 1, leave that loop on your hook. This is thick enough that I honestly have to kind of go and stretch for you guys to see the red in the background. So you really can't see the red. I mean, you can see through the stitches with the light behind it, but honestly, as I'm looking at this project, I cannot see the red through there. So I will be talking about the extended front post Tunisian simple stitch, so there will be a tutorial on that. We're not going to focus on the special color changes so that you lock your yarns in the back and everything else. We're not going to worry about this strand right now. We're just going to work on the color changes for the mosaic, not about getting a reversible project. If anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I will be available, like I said, more Friday than I will be the rest of today. But if you message me and I get a few down minutes, I definitely will answer you. And if you need anything, reach out, ask in the group. A lot of the girls have answers to this. If anybody has any questions, just ask. Like I said, I will repeat this again. All of your color changes, whether you're doing red, white, blue, pink, purple, green, whatever color you're going to do your lips in, all of your color changes will be done on the colored rows. There will be no color changes on your black rows. Your black is it. It's black. So if you have something that's showing up on your chart, or you're crocheting something and something is wrong, please message me and I will check my chart and I will talk to you guys, because I know I am not perfect. I have gone over these charts a few times, but that does not mean that I have not missed something. So even I make mistakes. So, but all of your color changes will be on your colored row, not your contrasting black row. So I hope everybody gets that. And please download the updated ones that are in this group. And I will be updating these as the cow goes along. When I get a little bit of downtime, I'm going to be including the right-handed and left-handed graphs. I will be using the right-handed and left-handed directions, written directions as well. So for those of you that are adding the colors and not used to that, watch the adding a bobbin video. Maybe Angela can link it in here when she gets a few minutes. If she gets a few minutes. I know she's busy and probably doing this while she's working. But that would be a good thing to link in here, is the bobbin video. Because when you're adding your color on the TSS row, you're basically adding a bobbin. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. I will be here. Sherry said, when I was watching last night, there were too many distractions going on, so I didn't hear everything. This has been helpful. Thank you so much. Angela said, yep, thank you. Yeah, so if anybody needs me, I will be available off and on today and more tomorrow. So I will be babysitting this afternoon until late this evening, so I might not even be home tonight until tomorrow, late morning. So if anybody needs me, I will answer when I can, and I'll be working up my pattern if I get any downtime working some on it. Like I said, the video for the houndstooth is just going to be a short little tutorial that you all are from, you know, there's videos in here for the Tunisian simple stitch and the Tunisian purl stitch, and we've been building in the honeycomb border into the patterns here for the last 7 years. So I'm sure that most of you that are doing this are familiar with that. So I don't think I have to go into like a whole explanation, but the color change part I will. And the extended front post Tunisian simple stitch, there will be a video for that, and there will be a video for adding your color. I'm going to try to get as many as I can done tomorrow. So any questions? Does everybody have all their colors? Is everybody okay? We are not changing hook size for this because the extended front post Tunisian simple stitch, since it's elongated and we're not doing a super wide pattern, so the houndstooth really isn't going to throw it off because of the purl stitch too much. So if anybody needs any help with that, we're not changing hook size for the houndstooth bottom and top. Like I said, I wanted this pattern to be very straightforward, very easy to follow, and then we will do the updated color change later on. There will be another video for that, but that's going to be the more advanced. So I wanted everybody to figure out what we're doing first, and then we can move on to advanced, because I know how frustrating it is to get all these patterns, and now they have all these brand new stitches and all these links to these videos. So then you're working along and you're like, okay, this is this stitch, this is this stitch, this is adding a bobbin, this is the extended front post. I remember that. And then you've got 3 more stitches and you're like, ah, crap. What was that one again? Let me click on the YouTube video. So you forget what you're doing. So like I said, I wanted to start out easy. I'm not going to throw you guys into an advanced pattern and be like, hey, by the way, hope you sink or swim here. That's not how we do this. We're teaching here. So if anybody needs anything, let me know. And like I said, I will be trying to get the short little 10 row, 10 stitch honeycomb houndstooth border video done where it's just going to discuss the purl stitch, the simple stitch, and where to change color on your return pass, and that makes it to houndstooth. And then I will be doing the simple stitch, showing you, you know, how to add the stitches. But basically you're doing the add the bobbin video that we've already had in here that Angela just linked. And then you can work over and under your tail, or you can wait and tighten that tail up when you're done, because since you're adding the tail and you're just going under the stitch, that tail kind of loosens it up, so then you look like you got a long strand and you're like, oh, what did I do wrong when I added this? And it's not anything, it's that, you know, the tail is just hanging there, so you have to weave it or tie it off on something. If you're deciding that you're going to weave later on, you can take your tail, your red tail, and you can tie it, just loop it like a pair of tennis shoes over the back of the blue, and that will just hold it into place while you do it. So that way when you get down to weaving your tails, you can just take the your hook or the weaving needle and just pull that straight out and then weave from there, and it'll tighten it up as well. All right, guys, I think that pretty much covered everything. I don't see any questions. Once you guys get into it, if you have any questions, like I said, ask in the group, or ask by PM. You can always PM me and I'll answer you when I'm available. So I hope that you guys all enjoy this, and I hope that we can get a couple of these done. It seems like everybody wants to do them, and they're like, oh, this would be a great idea, and then I do them, and we get like 2 people that do them. So hopefully I can get a few people to do this. That would be nice to see a couple of them. And that is one thing too. I've heard a lot of designers and a lot of other groups complain that they're running free cows, and people are just taking the patterns and they're running and they're not doing them. So a lot of designers now are going to be start doing just paid cows, where you have to pay $1, at least $1 or $2, to get into the event, and then you'll be added to that private group event once you've paid through PayPal or Venmo, whatever they accept, and then doing the cow from there. Because not only are you getting the pattern, at least they're getting something for designing this pattern, because a lot of people that do design a lot of cows, they use those images to promote the pattern once it's finished, and they're not really getting that when a lot of people aren't doing it. So I understand their frustration, but I don't want to go that route. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap things up. I hope you all have a fantastic lunch, and I probably will see you. I figure that'll give you the weekend to do a few rows and ask questions. So maybe we'll shoot for Monday at noon. How's that sound? I have seen them only do parts. You have to show that you've completed the first part to get the second part. Yeah, a lot of them have done that too, because then that makes people have to go in and buy the pattern, because if you fall behind, then you can't get any more of it, but yet you want to finish what you started, so then you're kind of forced to buy the pattern that way too. And a lot of times, you know, unfortunately, some of them patterns, I've seen them be $17, $18, you know, $25 for all the blocks. So Stephanie said, have a great rest of the week, y'all. Yes, Monday at noon is great. Okay. Then I will probably see you guys Monday at noon, unless something comes up on my side. And if it does, I will come into the event as early as possible and let you guys know if I won't be on, if I can't make it. But I don't see why I couldn't. So, like I said, have a great week. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be adding the videos Friday for at least the honeycomb and the color change part to get the houndstooth, and at least the simple stitch color change section. So Sherry said Monday's good. Good. All right then. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And like I said, this is pretty straightforward. I wanted it to be easy because I don't want to throw y'all in the deep end. I know how frustrating it is when you get a pattern like that. So, all right, guys, I will see you on Monday. If you have any questions, please ask. Take time to like this video, and if somebody asks in the group where this stuff is, you guys know, and you can kind of point them in that direction, since my mods a lot of them are working today, and Meredith is recuperating from surgery and on her way back home from her little outing that she had since surgery. So I hope that she is feeling better and healing well. So, all right, guys, I'll see you. See you Monday. Bye.